Good evening, students. Today we are going to discuss analysis of covariance. We have already studied analysis of variance for one way or two way. Okay. First, we'll see what is variance. Variance is nothing but the measure of how two random variables vary together. Okay, it shows how two random variables are correlated. We already know what variance is. Variance shows how a single variable varies or the variation of single or individual variable. Okay, while the covariance tells us how the two variables vary together. Okay, suppose in this graph we can see we have two variables in x and y axis. We are plotting them, and with respect to each other they are showing a decreasing relationship. Okay, so we can say that these two variables are negatively correlated. Okay, second, here we can see that x and y are increasingly linearly increasing. Okay, so they are positively correlated. So this is called positive covariance. Okay, in this graph you can see there is a random variation of these two variables with respect to each other. So there is no correlation or covariance. So we can say the covariance is 0. Okay, so this is covariance. Next, we'll see like one way ANOVA, we have one way ANCOVA and two way ANCOVA and three way ANCOVA. So we will see what is one way ANCOVA. So it means one way ANCOVA means we have one variable which is having two or more than two levels, and it has at least one covariance. Okay, it will have one variable which will have two or more than two levels, but it will have at least one covariance. Okay, so this is one way ANCOVA. Next is two way ANCOVA. Two way ANCOVA means it will have two variables, and each variable can have two or more than two levels and along with at least one covariance. Okay, it will have at least one covariable. So similarly we can have three way ANCOVA. Three way ANCOVA will have three variables, and each three variables can have two or more than two levels, but it will have at least one covariance. Okay, now suppose there are n level of one variable. We are talking about two way ANCOVA. So if there are n level of one variable and m level of another variable along with at least one covariance, then we can say that our ANCOVA is n into m factorial type. Okay, suppose we have for one variable we have two labels, and another variable we have three labels. So we can say it is 2 cross 3 factorial design ANCOVA. Okay, so similarly we can have third variable which will have suppose h label, and we have already seen one variable have suppose n and second variable have m label. So totally we can say it has n cross m cross h factorial design ANCOVA. Okay, so in our course we'll study only the formulation of one way ANCOVA. Okay, now we will see the assumptions of ANCOVA. What are the assumptions? Number one assumption is all the data points are normally distributed. Okay, so the distribution of random variables or dependent variable are normally distributed. Okay, we have already seen what is the normal distribution. Second assumption is homogeneity of variance. It means that the difference within the group of each data is equal. Okay, suppose there is one group which is having variance sigma square, another group having variance sigma 2 square, another group having variance sigma 3 square. So all group will have same variance. Okay, variance of each group will be equal. So that is homogeneity of variance. So it will also follow the homogeneity of variance. And third assumption is the data of dependent variable must be either on interval scale or ratio scale. Okay, so it shows the distribution of dependent variables data point. Next is there must be no outlier in each group. So if we are already assuming the distribution is normal type, so there will be no outlier. Okay. Next assumption is there must be minimum one covariate. Okay, each group, for each way ANOVA we will have minimum one covariate, and its scale will also be either interval scale or ratio scale. Okay, so next assumption is the independent variable and the covariate are not dependent to each other, they are independent. Okay, the last assumption is there must be a linear correlation between the dependent variable and covariate. Okay, remember these two assumptions, that independent variable and covariate are independent, while our dependent variable and covariate are linearly correlated. Okay, so these are the assumptions. Next, where we can apply this one way ANCOVA. So one way ANCOVA can be used where two or more than two levels of a group are there, where two or more than two levels of each groups are there, and we are interested in adjusted mean of these groups, okay, of dependent variable. So what we are going to see, the adjusted mean of these groups or between these groups of dependent variable. Okay, and of course each group have at least one covariate. Okay, so we will use one way ANOVA in these two cases. Okay, so as in analysis of variance, we were reducing the variations which was occurring due to extraneous causes. Okay, yeah, uncontrollable extraneous causes. Okay, but in this section of analysis of covariance, we are not fixing these variables, but we are measuring these variables. Okay, for example, if we want to compare the effectiveness of several industrial training programs, and the results are depending on trainees IQs. Okay, similarly, in another example, if you want to compare the durability of several kinds of leather shoes or soles, and the result depending on the weight of persons wearing these shoes, so we can see there is some kind of relation between these variables. Okay, so we can fix these variabilities, we can measure that these variability rather than fixing these variations. Okay, and this method can be analyzed or can be seen as a kind of combination of linear regression method and analysis of variance, because in linear regression there is a linear relationship between two variables, one is dependent and independent. So here also there will be some relationship between these covariates. Okay, and we are applying or finding variation. So this is also a kind of analysis of variation and linear regression method. Okay, next, the model equation for this analysis of covariance is given by this, where mu is the grand mean, mu is the grand mean, alpha I is the effect of ith treatment, and epsilon ij is an independent variable which is normally distributed having zero mean and sigma square common variance. Okay, and here delta term is the slope of linear regression equation. Okay, so here the xij are eliminated by regression method, and we calculate this delta by method of least square. That method we have seen in linear regression model. So why we are doing so? Because here we will calculate adjusted sum of products. Okay, here we will calculate adjusted sum of products y dash or x dash. Oh, clear? So here the total sum of product is given by summation of yij minus y bar dot multiply by xij minus x dot bar, where I is varying from I to k and j is varying from I to n. Clear? This is total sum of all products. We will see the direct formula for the sum of products individually for x term and y term. Okay, so we will follow these steps for the calculation. Number 1 will be the total treatment and error sum of square will be calculated for x. Okay, by same formula we were using for one way ANOVA. Okay, so we will calculate total sum of square for x, treatment sum of square for x, and error sum of square for x. Similarly, the next step would be the total treatment and error sum of square for y's by the similar formula of one way ANOVA. Okay, so we will calculate total sum of square for y, treatment sum of square for y, and error sum of square for y. So we have calculated total sum of square, treatment sum of square, and error sum of square for x, and similarly for y. Now we will calculate sum of products. Okay, sum of products which will be used for calculating adjusted sum of square. Okay, so third step will be calculating sum of products. So sum of products for treatment will be calculated by this formula, which is given by summation of xij into yij, where I is treatment which is varying from 1 to k and j is varying from 1 to n labels. Okay, and c is the correction factor which is calculated by this formula. Okay, similarly the sum of product for treatment is given by total sum of txi into total sum of tyi, where txi is total of all ith treatment of x के ith treatment का total. Similarly tyi is total of y's ith treatment, y के जितने I number of treatment हैं उनका total. ओके, और I वेरी कर रहा है हमारा फ्रॉम 1 to k. क्लियर? And the label are total number of label are n minus c, that is correction factor. Okay, similarly product sum of products for error will be total sum of products minus treatment sum of product. We can directly calculate error sum of product. Okay, the correction factor is calculated by Tx into Ty divided by K into N, where Tx is total of all x, Tx is total of all x, and Ty is also sum of all y's. Okay, and K is total treatment, and is their total number of levels. Clear? But we need adjusted sum of square. Okay, adjusted sum of square for total, error, and treatment. Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule for calculating these values, but you have to remember formulas only. Okay, so the adjusted sum of square will be given by this formula. We are putting this for y. Similarly, we will calculate for x. Okay, this is given by a total sum of square for y minus product sum of square divided by uh, total sum of square for x. Similarly, this is for error sum of square and treatment sum of square for adjusted y. And all these values will be used for analysis of covariance table. Okay, similar to table we were using for analysis of variance. So this will be the table for analysis of covariance. The source of variations are same. One is treatment, another is error, and another is total. So here the sum of square will be calculated for first for x, next is for covariate y, then we will calculate total for product, sum of square for product, and sum of square for adjusted. Y dash is adjusted. Okay, and their respective degrees of freedom, then mean sum of square. Okay, so we will calculate treatment sum of square for x, for y, product sum of square, adjusted, and we know there are total k degrees of freedom. So if we know the mean or one variable, we need total k minus 1 values to fix the state. So degree of freedom for treatment will be k minus 1. For total, there will be n into k, and we need at least two variables. If we know at least two variables, then we can calculate the another variable. So totally the degree of freedom will be n into k minus 2. Okay, for error degree of freedom you can calculate by total degree of freedom minus treatment degree of freedom, nk minus 2 minus k minus 1. So from here you can calculate the error degree of freedom, which will comes out to be, this will become plus, so nk minus k minus 1 will be the degree of freedom for errors. Okay, and this is the adjusted mean for treatment, and this is adjusted mean for error. Okay, so again we will calculate the F ratio at given significance level by dividing mean sum of square, adjusted mean sum of square for treatment divided by adjusted mean sum of square for error. So this will give F ratio, and if this F ratio, if this F ratio is less than F critical, or F critical is greater than this F ratio, then we can reject our null hypothesis like in our previous case. Okay, and the F critical will be calculated at given significance level and treatment and errors degree of freedom, k minus 1 comma nk minus k minus 1 degrees of freedom. Okay, so our null hypothesis will be this, like this one. the variance is equal, means there is no difference between the variance of each group given dependent variable. So this hypothesis is tested against the alternative hypothesis which says there is there is some difference, means they are not equal to 0. So the F ratio, we have already seen how to calculate F ratio. So F ratio will be calculated from ANOVA or ACNOVA table, and this can be rejected if the value of F critical comes out to be greater than this F ratio. Okay. I'm repeating one more time the whole process of analysis of covariance before going to the problem. Okay. First, we will calculate the total treatment and error sum of square for x. Okay, like we used to calculate for one way ANOVA. Okay, the similar formula will be used for these calculation for x. Next, we'll calculate the treatment total and error sum of square for y. The similar formula for that we use for one way ANOVA. Okay, that's why we have not written the formulas here. Okay, and next we will calculate the sum of product by using this formula. So this is these are the new formulas. The term is new, sum of products. So we have given the formulas here. But for these x and y values, we'll use the previous formula as we have used in analysis of variance. Okay, so we will calculate sum of products by these formulas, and these sum of products and the step 2 and 1 values will be used to calculate adjusted sum of square. Okay, these will be used for adjusted sum of square values. Okay, here we are using these values. Then we'll make this all table. Okay, so now we are going to understand this by using one problem. So in this problem, we are conducting the analysis of variance with one covariate. Okay, so in this, a researcher is working with three cleaning agents, A1, A2 and A3. So there are three treatments. Okay, and he wants to select the most efficient agent for cleaning the metallic surface. Okay, and the cleanness of the surface is measured by its reflectivity, whose value in terms of ratio is given, and the ratio is the reflectivity to that of standard mirror surface. Okay, so it is given in terms of ratio. So it is saying to calculate the analysis of variance should be used, because the effect of cleaning agent on reflectivity will be depending on original cleanness. Okay, so this is the covariate, maybe original reflectivity of the surface. So we have to perform the analysis of covariance at 0.0105 significance level, and we need to compare whether the difference between adjusted mean is equal or not. So some of the data we can directly observe from the table as number of observations, that is I, total number of observations or treatments are K. So K is equal to 3 number of observation treatments, A1, A2 and A3. And next is N. N is total number of levels for each treatment. So here we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 number of levels. So N is K is 3 and N is 4. So we can calculate the degrees of freedom. So K minus 1 is degree of freedom for K minus treatment degree of freedom is K minus 1, that is 2. And for errors degree of freedom is Nk minus K minus 1. So nk will be 12 minus k minus 1 will be 4. 12 minus 4 is 8. So our F critical will be at 0.05 significance level and 2,8 degrees of freedom. So we can directly calculate F critical value at 0.05 significance level and 2,8 degrees of freedom. So how we have calculated these degree of freedom we have seen already. Okay, based on treatment and errors degree of freedom. Clear? So I will directly show the value of F at these degrees of freedom and given significance level. I'm not opening here the F table. I have provided that to you. You can see the data from that. Okay. So F critical can be calculated. And this is TXI. So this will be TX1, TX2, TX3 and TX4. Similarly, this will be for TY and this is TX2. This will be for third treatment. Similarly, so this will give us total TX1, TY1, TX2, TY2. Similarly for third. Okay. So we, if you want, you can directly add the total values over here. Clear? What we will do now, we'll follow the same steps like analysis of variance. First, we will assume our null hypothesis that there is no difference between the mean of adjusted variance. There is no difference between the mean of adjusted variance, means all are equal. So alternate hypothesis will be they are not equal. There is some difference. The level of significance is given 0.05. Okay, the rejection criteria will be at given significance level and 2,8 degree of freedom. So the value will be 4.46 at this degrees of freedom. So 4.46 is critical F value. So if our F ratio comes out to be greater than 4.46, then we can reject our assumed null hypothesis. Okay, otherwise we have to accept that. Next, we will make calculation. First, we'll calculate total treatment and error sum of square values for x, similarly for y, and then we will proceed for sum of products. Okay, so tx1 is given to, I will calculate tx1. So this is for first treatment, this will be tx1, total of first treatment varying from 1 to 4. Okay, so 0.5 plus 0.55 plus 0.6 plus 0.35 will give us tx1. Similarly, ty1 will be given by adding all these values. So total tx will be equal to tx1 plus tx2 plus tx3, and ty will be ty1, similarly y2 and y3. Okay, so this is tx1, tx2, tx3, and total tx is summation of x1, x2 and x3. Similarly, y, ty1, ty2 and ty3, and total ty will be sum of these tys. Now we will calculate all the values for x. First, the correction factor. Correction factor is grand total, that is tx square upon n into k. Okay, that is correction factor for x. So total x is 9.5, that square, n is 3 and k is 4. The correction factor for x is 7.52. This we will use for calculating total sum of square and treatment sum of square. So total sum of square is nothing but summation of I yj square minus c. So I yj square will be for x 0.5 square plus 0.55 square plus 0.6 square up to 0.7 square. Okay, so this will give us the summation of all this, give us yij square minus c correction factor will give us total sum of square for x. And the treatment sum of square is the tx1 square plus tx2 square plus tx3 square divided by number of levels, that are that is our sorry, 4. Number of levels are 4. Okay, 4 minus c. So t x we have already calculated, that is 2, tx2 is 4.5 and tx3 is 3. So that square divided by 4 minus this will give us treatment sum of square. So for error sum of square is nothing but total sum of square minus treatment sum of square, that is 1.31 minus 0.79 will give us 0.52, that is error sum of square for x. Similarly we will calculate for y, all the term for y. Okay, so for y we will first calculate correction factor, that is total ty square divided by n into k. Okay, n is 3, k is 4. So this will give us c. Similarly we calculate total sum of square for y, which is nothing but y ij square that is 0.1 square plus 1.2 square up to 0.9 square. Okay, to 0.9 square. Okay, minus c will give us total sum of square for y. Similarly treatment sum of square is ty1 square plus ty2 square plus ty3 square divided by number of level, that is 4, minus c, that is correction factor, will give us treatment sum of square for y. And error sum of square for y will be total sum of square minus treatment, that is 0.79 minus 0.5, that is 0.29, will give us error sum of square for y. Okay, now we will go for sum of products. Okay, so sum of products, first the correction factor for sum of products is given by tx into ty divided by n into k. Okay, so this is tx ty divided by this will give us c correction factor for sum of products. The next is sum of product for total sum of product, which is given by xij into yij sum. Okay, xij into yij sum minus correction factor. Okay, so this is sum of product, total sum of product. Okay, for treatment sum of product is given by, this is tx into tx1 into ty1 plus tx2 into ty2 plus tx3 into ty3 divided by number of labels, that is 4. Okay, so this is tx1 ty1, tx2 ty2, this is tx3 ty3. Okay, so minus c will give us a sum of products for treatment. Similarly sum of product for error will be total sum of product minus treatment sum of product. Okay, that is minus 0.8 minus 0.63 will give us minus 0.17. Okay, so we will use these values to calculate adjusted sum of square for total, treatment, error and treatment. Okay, so yeah, you can use these formulas. Okay, these formulas for adjusted sum of square. So we have calculated all these values, all this is total sum of square, total sum of square for x. This is product sum of square, and I think this is total sum or this is so you can use the formula. This is directly formula based, so you can calculate these values and put on the table. So this is the summarized table for analysis of covariance. The source of variations are same, treatment error and total. And these are the values, sum of square values for x. These are sum of square values for y, and sum of square for product you have calculated. We are directly putting these values in the table, final table, and this is adjusted sum of square and their respective degree of freedom. The mean sum of square will be this adjusted sum of square divided by its degree of freedom. Mean sum of square, adjusted sum of square divided by its degree of freedom will give us mean sum of square for treatment and error. Correct? So F ratio, finally, F ratio will be mean sum of square for treatment divided by error sum of square. So 0.035 divided by 0.029 is 1.12. So this is F ratio. So F ratio is 1.21. So we have seen our decision criteria was based on F ratio and critical value. Our F critical value was 4.46, and our F ratio is 1.21. So our F ratio is less than F critical. Our F ratio is less than F critical, so we cannot reject our null hypothesis. Okay, we have to accept our null hypothesis that there is no difference between the adjusted mean of each detergent or cleaning agent. So we cannot we cannot conclude here that which agent, cleaning agent, is more effective. Okay, so we have to accept that all cleaning agents are equal. Okay, so this was the problem based on analysis of covariance. I hope you have understood this topic. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.